Now, Joe Biden has a good reason to smile these days, at least when it comes to the polls. The Democratic presidential candidate is leading against Donald Trump by 15% among registered voters nationally, according to a joint survey by ABC News and Washington Post. And Fox News has also released a poll that isn't particularly making Trump happy. It shows that Biden is ahead in the polls when it comes to who American voters trust to handle the coronavirus pandemic, race relations, and the economy. Well, Trump has dismissed the polls as fake in an interview with Fox News, and the president has even gone as far as refusing to say if he would accept election results if he loses to Biden in November. Well, with us to break down the story, we have communication consultant Spencer Critchley with us live from Monterey, California. So, Spencer, tell me, you worked on Barack Obama's presidential campaigns. You know how much polls can change here and how often they're in fact wrong. Do you think that there's a chance that this might be the case with these polls, or is Joe Biden definitely on his path to winning?
Well, there is a reason why political campaigns, including Barack Obama's campaigns, pay such close attention to polls. They shouldn't be trusted too much, but that's not because they're wrong so much. They're actually right far more often than they're wrong. The reason you have to be careful about them is they only capture a slice of reality at a particular moment in time, and the future is constantly emerging. We have no idea what's going to happen in the next hour, let alone in the next couple of months. So that's why you have to be cautious of polls. But the polls that the Trump campaign and the Biden campaign are seeing now and have been seeing for the past number of weeks are very alarming for the Trump campaign, which is why they appear to be panicking, none more than the president, and why the Biden campaign does have reason to feel pretty good.
I mean, what can Trump do at this point to change the turning tide here?
Well, he's tried changing his campaign manager just a few days ago when Brad Parscale got the heave-ho. That's always a bad sign. And it's not going to help because there is no campaign strategy, frankly, that is going to help. The problem here is the candidate. And if I may mention my book, Patriots of Two Nations, I actually figured something like this was going to be what makes the difference with Trump, because the people who follow him value loyalty often above any evidence that might be used to try to dissuade them. But what will shake their loyalty is signs of the leader being unworthy of that loyalty. And Trump is showing that through his incompetence, his increasingly blatant racism, and his corruption.
Now let's talk about the coronavirus crisis. I mean, how do you think that this whole pandemic has impacted Trump's popularity?
Well, this is the thing. One of the images I use in the book is to imagine a worldview which in many ways has a lot in common with centuries past, when people would swear fealty to a king. Many of Trump's followers, I believe, are operating in a similar worldview. And imagine you're on a battlefield and you watch your king running around in circles, clearly having no idea what he's doing and running away from danger. That's when you lose their loyalty. That's what's happening with Trump. His bungling of coronavirus is literally costing his followers lives, or the lives of their loved ones, along with everybody else in America who's at risk because of his bungling.
Now let's quickly talk about Biden. You know, he is seen essentially as Obama 2.0. In what ways do you think his presidency, if he is elected, would be different than Obama's?
I think it would be a continuation, but I think also, as Barack Obama has said, the country has moved on in the years since the Obama administration and appears to be becoming more progressive in some ways. Including, the just mentioned race relations. It's terribly tragic and sad and unfortunate that it took something as horrible as the killing on camera of George Floyd for many white Americans to finally wake up to what black people have been suffering through in this country for centuries now. But that's one example of a variety of ways in which the country is becoming more progressive, I would say. And so I think we could expect the Biden administration, as moderate as Biden is by nature, I think we could expect it to be a little bit more liberal than under President Obama, just because of that shift.
All right, Spencer Critchley, thank you so much for joining us. We are out for a short break right now, but when we are back, Italian police